how has it
Oh,
been raising your kids um, living outside the country?
raising the boys outside of country, I think it was a good experience. Um, it allowed us to become closer as a unit. I think when we were in the States, um, we we were not as close because I guess we were in the rat race at the time. We're having
Mhm.
two young kids, so we had a lot of support. We had friends and families that could always step in, and we could basically focus on what we need to do professionally. But when you move abroad, you lose all the support, the friends and families, and
Right.
you really have to make things work as a unit. So that brought us to get closer together, and it built a stronger relationship. So I think it was a good thing for us. I I don't think I would have learned or enjoyed as much if I had stayed within the States. But by being outside of the States,
Hmm.
our relationships had to change, and it changed in a positive way for us.
Okay. All right. So so you feel being overseas kind of enriched the whole family experience.
Yes. For one, we're experiencing things that, a lot of our friends and family have not got to experience. So it created a lot of good memories for us. And like I said, it made us become closer.
Right.
And it was very enriching as well. And, we didn't get a lot of the outside influences or stereotypes, that you normally would get in the States. Like, this is what the father's role is, and this is what the mother's role is, and the kids are supposed to do X, Y, and Z. When we're away from that, we're taken out of that bubble. We just have to kind of make it work.
Right.
So everyone kind of took on different roles. Everybody knew their titles, who's the oldest son or oldest child, who's mother and father, but the stereotype roles did not follow us when we came over here. Sometimes, I would take the lead on certain things, and then sometimes my wife would take the lead on certain things. It was a lot easier to have to adjust because we were outside of the United States than actually living in the United States.
Oh, well, give me an example of what that might look at. You talk about it was a lot easier for the roles to change, but give me an example of what that might look like.
Well, like for instance, like with me, growing up, you're always told that, hey, the father is the protector, the breadwinner. He's the head of the household.
Right.
The father has to have all the answers. And that's how I grew up in the States. But when you move outside the United States and you kind of intertwine with the new culture that you're in, you kind of see how other people are living outside the United States, and then you kind of
Right.
adapt that to what you're doing, how you're going to live at that time. So a lot of times, um, my wife may take the lead on some things because she was exposed to it or had more information on it, and I took
Right.
the role of being taking care of the kids at the house, or just doing more household things while she went out and got the information, and kind of informed us of opportunities or what we should do next. And then the roles change every once in a while. Sometimes I would take that lead role. So
Okay.
in the States, more concrete. It's expected that the man does this, that. But like I said, when you go into a different culture, sometimes it's expected the woman to do certain things or a man to do certain things, but you try to adapt it to your current situation, and make it work. And like I said, the biggest thing was the support system because we didn't have, you know, uh, like I would say, the daycares or the friends and families to step in, give us advice,
Right.
or be there when we needed them. We had to turn to each other to say, hey,
Okay.
like if we're going out back in the States, if we wanted to go out, we would call a friend or family and say, hey, can you watch the kids? When you're outside of that bubble, it's like, hey, if we want to go out, we all got to go out, because it's just us, and we
Right.
learn to make that an adaptation, and it made us grow closer because I think, and that's what I mean too. If we were in the States, life would be different because we would have just, mom and dad would have went out and left the kids with the cousin or the aunt
Right.
or uncle,
Right.
and we would just experience things, just the two of us. But being in a different culture or a different country, we don't have that system. So hey, we want to experience this. So hey, you guys got to come with us.
Okay. So the
We
whole
all get
family, you all get to experience it together.
exactly the whole
Okay.
family.
A little bit.
Okay. All right.
But what else seems to be kind of different for you?
Well, just the way I interact with my kids, it's very different from how I was interacting with my father. My father was in the military, and he didn't share a lot about his childhood. It was more, he just pretty much wanted to share, I guess, his style of discipline. You're gonna do this, that. There wasn't a lot of sensitivity or expression of emotion. And I always chalked it up to him being in the military. So
Right.
when I have my kids are different. I tell them I love them. I love them every day. I sit down and ask them how's their day going. Um, I'm sensitive to the needs. I'm just more involved. I think with my father, he wasn't involved as much, and that. And I'm not saying it was a bad thing. It's just we just have different different parenting styles, and I think it's just due to exposure as well. He didn't go to college until later on, so I
Right.
think that might have been a difference as well because I did go to college, so I was able to experience different things at different level, and my expectation of a family was different from his,
Right.
because I didn't feel the need to follow his path. I think that's what he did. His father treated him that way, so he's going to treat his father that way. And I, just didn't see that. I felt like
Okay.
I saw the good and bad, so I chose to just pick the good and
And
then
leave the bad out. So.
leave the bad out and fill in whatever I needed to do. Not saying
Right.
I was perfect, far from perfect, but at least I had a starting point. I didn't just adopt his whole point of view,
Gotcha.
because it would have been easier. I think that's what many generations of fathers do too. They just see how they were raised, and it's just easier to just do the same thing instead of saying, you know what, let me just pick out what I liked, see how that worked, and maybe try to raise my kids differently, just so they would have a different experience. Even though I came out okay, I still want my kids to have certain things that I thought I should have had growing up. And,
Right. And I
and
think.
that was the one area I thought I lacked in childhood, you know, was the fact that, you felt that support every day, you know, because in today's society, it's very important that we raise our boys or our kids as confident individuals, and the only way to build that confidence is to let them know who they are every day,
Mm-hmm.
and you should be able to have a conversation with your kids regardless if you're just sitting at the dinner table or doing a chore, or you should be able to have a conversation besides telling them to do this or do that. You should be able to just sit down and let's just talk.
Right.
You came home, let's just sit down, let's talk before you do your homework.
Right. Right.
Our conversation shouldn't just be about me telling you what to do, and that's it. So
Right, because that's not a conversation for the
exactly.
most part. so you get this done and go about your business. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Wanted more for the boys.
Right, and I think we probably heard a lot of that growing up. You need to go ahead and get this done, and then don't bother me.
Exactly.
So